All right, so this video is just going to be some more examples and more discussion about how we can take advantage of this. All right, so let's do something pretty straightforward here. Let's create an array. Let's create an array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And we want to print out each one of these numbers to the console. So how would we do that? Well, we could do a for loop or a for of loop, and don't do for in loops of arrays. That's a bad idea. Or we can use the forEach function. Remember the forEach function? We do array.forEach function item console log item, right? And go ahead and hit Control S, and now we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you think what do you think the this is in this forEach? Let's start off with that. What is the this here? So let's go ahead and save this out and see what happens. So you'll notice that this function, in this particular case, this is the global context. We get our window, right? But let's go ahead and remove that. Let's go ahead and remove that, because what we're seeing here with this is a very common pattern with using the forEach that we should immediately start to think of how we could clean up this code. And a solution that you might think of, you might start to realize, well, console log is a function that takes in values, right, that we want to log. And the function that we're passing in, the callback, is a value or is a function that takes in one of these parameters. So why couldn't we simplify this? Array forEach, and then just pass in console log. I mean, console log is a function, and it's a function that's going to take in all these parameters. Actually, I can. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it like this. Console log. Let's hit Control S to see what happens. And what we get is an uncaught error, a legal invocation. We actually get an error here, which is actually kind of an indication of an internal. Oh wow, it's not even. Come on. Oh, I hit the wrong button there. Whoops. Okay, which is it's actually an internal error. Something really bad happened on the internals of our program, and we can replicate this by doing something like this. Let's go ahead and comment this out so we're no longer crashing our runtime. And I can say var log equals console log. Then why can't I do log hello world, right? In fact, my IntelliSense is telling me that that's the signature. Why can't I do that? Well, I can't do this because what we're doing here is we're taking the console log function out of the console, and then we're invoking it directly in the global context, which is exactly what's going to happen in this array.forEach console log. When we pass in the function console log, it loses its context. Because when we invoke console log, we need it to be in the context of the console object, because the internals of the console log function, which are internal to Chrome or whatever browser you're using, expect it to be being invoked within the context of the console. But when we pass in console log just straight up as a naked function right here, we're stripping away, as you see right here, we're stripping away the whole console part of it. We're losing that object reference. Because we're losing that object reference, we're not invoking console log on the console object anymore. We're invoking it actually technically on the window object, because we're not in strict mode. And invoking a log function on the window object is a bad idea. I mean, obviously, you could see many examples of this. I could do, you know, if I tried to do something like var create element equals document dot create element. Well, actually, I think does window have a create element? No, it doesn't. So now we can do a create element of like li, right? Oh, that's a syntax error. And we get uncaught type error, failed to execute create element on document. 1 argument required, but only 0 present. Oops. I was reading that error message, like, this doesn't seem like the error message I'm going for. Yeah, I shouldn't have invoked it. Again, I'm trying to get a reference to the function. And I invoke it, and we get another illegal invocation, because this function is designed to be invoked on the document object. It's not designed to be invoked on the window object. Now, we're going to see ways to resolve this in the next video, but I want to do some more examples, some more things that you might have seen, might have run into in the past. So let's go ahead and close that out, and let's do example 5. So this might be a little bit of a contrived example, as most of these are. Let's say we have a var person database or something, I don't know. And it has a title of I don't know, employees. And then it has a list of people, which is just going to be an array of strings. So we have Nelson, Foo, Bar, Baz, and then we might have a function called print. So print function, and so the print function, what I want to do is I want to loop through all of the people in the people list, which I can access through this .people, assuming, of course, that the caller of this function calls it through the person database, of course. But I want to use the forEach method. I want to say this .people.forEach function person, and I want to say console log this .title plus colon plus person. And you know, you might already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So I'm going to do person database.print. What do you think the output's going to be here? And again, contrived example, but it's really important to be able to look at this code and know exactly what's going on. First, you always must understand the scope, but now I'm throwing in something new. You have to understand the context. So what do you think the output's going to be? Let's go ahead and run it. And we get undefined Nelson, undefined Foo, undefined Bar, undefined Baz. And that's because when we open up, when we have this closure right here, we're passing in this function to the forEach method. But the forEach method is going to strip away the context. There's the context that is present right here. The this right here does not equal the this right here. And that's because the forEach method has no concept of the context that this was executed in. And you might have seen this before, and the solution you might have came up to was what you might be thinking, okay, hold on. So the this right here is the correct this that I want. And I can turn this into a closure, and I can create an alias for the this variable up here in this scope, and then reference that lexically from down here. And you'd be right. Very common thing to do. This is what I always use, that. I say that equals this, var that equals this. And then instead of saying this .title, I say that .title. Hit Control S, and now our title is indeed being pulled in. Employees, blah, 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 right? So you might have seen this before. Again, it's very common in if you do any jQuery stuff. It's very common to do this because you'll have a jQuery event, or even just a normal straight up native DOM event handler, or you'll use jQuery.each or something to loop over a selector, and you'll want to reference the this in the outer scope, but you can't because the context changes. So what we do is we alias out the context in a parent scope, and then reference that parent scope's binding to the context that created that closure. So just to recap real quick, again, functions can be invoked in a variety of different ways. We have functions being invoked as just straight up naked functions that are not bound to any particular variable. And those will either, this here will either be the global context or undefined. We have functions that are invoked as part of an object, which we can change, as you saw in example 3, where we actually went and said person2 too many things equals person.printName, and then when we invoked it. See, the important thing about the this, it's going to always be the left-hand side of the dot is going to turn into the this in the function that's invoked. Well, actually, we'll see examples in the next video of how to manipulate that behavior. But we've also seen callbacks, like, for example, adding this event listener, or specifically in our previous example here, we have a callback passed into forEach, which in that case, the this was the global context. I do want to point out, just for the sake of completeness, the forEach method actually has a way... I was going to say this in the next video, but I might as well just show it to you guys here. The forEach method in particular, and not many methods have this functionality, but the forEach method does. And what it allows you to do, if we look at the signature of this method, we'll see that, there we go. It might be hard to read because this is in TypeScript notation, but this method accepts two parameters: a callback function, which is a callback, which is that first line, but it also accepts a second parameter here. It's called the thisArg, and the thisArg is optional. And so that's the second parameter. What do you think that'll do? Well, if we go ahead and I'm going to revert this code back to how it was when it was failing, where the this.title is undefined. And all I have to do is pass in comma this. And that's an interesting thing of the forEach method in particular. Not many methods have this sort of this feature where you can change the context of the callback. But I wanted to point that out for you guys, just because we're talking about the forEach method here. So you can pass in the second parameter. So remember, this right here is the is going to be the this that was executed when the forEach method is executed, right? It might look a little confusing because there's a closure right here. Maybe I can clean this up a little bit and say var callback equals function, and then I can do this.people forEach callback this. And what that's going to do is the this that we pass in, whatever object we pass in here, turns into the this in this function. We could also go crazy. I mean, we don't have to pass in this particularly. We can pass in any JavaScript object we want. Maybe say title, stuff, and things, right? And now you see that stuff and things is being printed because the this argument of this callback, when it's invoked, becomes whatever object we pass in here. But you'll generally be doing just passing in this like that. So we could have also fixed that other one. I'll just copy and paste this array. Bring this down here. We could have also done array.forEach console.log comma console. And of course, what that'll do is that'll work. By the way, remember forEach, the callback takes in 3 parameters: the value, the index of the value, and the whole array. That's why this output looks a little funky. But still, the point that I'm trying to get at is we can change this context of the function we pass in, but just for the forEach. In the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we can manipulate this value in different ways on our own, so that we can pass in any arbitrary callback to any function, even for functions that expect a callback but don't have the special feature of being able to manipulate this value directly. And we'll see you guys in the next video.